Hey, everybody. I'm so excited today because this lady that we've got today is the person that's gotten me to move a little bit more and to appreciate movement. She's given me a sense of community, and I am just so in love with what she's doing and just how she's been able to impact so many women in the United States. Like, this is a big deal. So we've got Donna Fisher today, and Donna is the founder of Commit Dance Fitness. So, hey, Donna.
Hey, Shen, how are you?
Good, good, good.
Good.
So today, I think we should just leave it open, just kind of tell us a little bit more about where you're from and like, how did you end up with this vision for Commit Dance Fitness?
Um, let's see. So how it all started, I guess I want to start with like my health and fitness journey from the beginning. It actually came to me at the mall. My son was 3 years old. Phoenix, Tasmanian devil, super duper high energy. I seriously thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown with this kid because I did not um, realize the energy level that such a little person could have. I was 250 plus pounds and could not keep up with him. One day he decided to book it down the mall, and I could not catch him. And a gentleman who happened to be, in my mind, it seemed like he had made it all the way to the other end of the mall. I'm sure that's like an exaggeration because all I'm seeing is I can't get him. Someone's going to snatch him up and leave. And what happened is somebody actually did snatch him up to stop him from running because I'm screaming for him. And out of breath, out of shape completely. I wasn't in the right state of mind either, emotionally, which when you're not taking care of yourself, eating the wrong foods, everything just happens. You are so focused on your children, excuse after excuse after excuse to not actually invest in self-care. I was so invested in my kids. So that was the aha moment. I have to do something because this kid is just going to get bigger and he's going to get faster. So I need to be able to keep up with him. So I got a gym membership and started just like everybody else, 24-hour fitness on the treadmill and listening to my Janet Jackson CD, just rocking out, come on, get up, and walking and dancing on the treadmill because dance has been something that has been a part of my life forever. Uh, all of a sudden, it's like, okay, now it's bathroom break because I'm bored on the treadmill. I hear music coming from the group fitness room and I hear like, ay, 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 and all of just pure joy coming from this room. So I go and check it out. And that was when I was introduced to my very first dance fitness experience, which was Zumba. Mind you, I'm hiding in the back of the room. I was dressed in like heavy clothing, sweatpants. I'm thinking like leggings underneath because the more I sweat, the more the fat's going to come off. That was my mindset. Hiding in the back, completely insecure, emotionally broken down. I found that with the dance, which I loved so much, I didn't know that it could actually be fitness too. I thought dancing was just dancing, but Zumba like opened my eyes to, a different way of movement. Since I was so heavy, I couldn't keep up with my instructor, so I had to do modifications. My movement was a lot slower. I definitely couldn't, jump up. I couldn't get on the ground. Everything I did was modified until the weight started to come off. I noticed that with the more that I attended the classes, it introduced me to other classes. With that, I started doing step aerobics. I started taking some weightlifting classes. The better that I felt, the better I was eating. And that was like, it just went hand in hand. And I didn't realize how important, not only like the diet, but the diet didn't come until I started moving. Movement like put so much, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it just inspired me to make better choices because I was feeling so good. I wanted that feeling to keep happening. And I did notice with certain like food choices, I wasn't feeling as good. My workout wasn't as, successful. So then I started cutting out those things that didn't make me feel good. I definitely am a potato chip person. Cheez-Its are my cracker of choice, and I could literally eat an entire box in, a sitting. And that started to go away, drinking more water, just being really mindful of it. And after about 2 years, I was able to consistently keep my weight at about like 185, 175, which is where I'm at now. And I feel good. I feel physically fit and capable. In the journey of dance fitness, before I became an instructor, I noticed my confidence coming up. I wouldn't move up in the room. It was the students who pushed me forward. So, hey, I see you back there. I like the way that you're doing those moves. I can't keep up with the instructor. Will you dance in front of me? So then it's like, oh my God, really? Okay. And I'm a people pleaser. So I'm like, okay, sure. And then friendships started to develop, and more and more students kept asking me to move forward. Then I met my mentor, my very first mentor. She was phenomenal and would have me dance next to her. So she would lead the class, but then I would provide the modifications and variations. And it was so crazy because I never had to go as hard or as fast, as her in the cardio area. I focused more on intentional movement and focused on, where I was placing my body and really listening to what my muscles were saying. Like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. Like, don't move it that way. Stay here, be more stabilized. And the weight just started coming off. It was amazing. And I was like, oh, dang, I don't have to go, full speed ahead on the treadmill, like I'm a sprinter. I can actually, I don't want to say like tortoise speed, rabbit, tortoise, the hare in the tortoise story, right? I could still move the way that I was moving, and the weight was coming off just as fast and or faster than individuals who were like running 5 miles a day. So that's kind of like where it started. So then more people were asking me, like, what are you doing? How is this working for you? And I just would tell them, well, I'm not on any specific diet. I'm just making better choices. And then also too, I'm not focused so much on how fast I'm moving. I'm focused on how I'm moving. So with that, I got the opportunity to become an instructor myself. I decided to like just bite the bullet after so many individuals were like, I want to take your class. It's like, well, I don't have one. So I got myself one. That was almost 13 years ago now. Yeah. So I was a student instructor for about 2 years in my health and fitness journey. And then I decided after about 2 years of doing it, I was like, okay, well, maybe I can do this. I had got myself to a place to where my confidence for what I'm capable of had grown. And, I'm human. I still have my insecurities. I still have some doubts, at times that I'm continually like pushing through. Uh, but it felt good to know that there were individuals who were counting on me, so then that accountability part, like I counted on them because they were counting on me. And it's not in a selfish way, but just to know like we're in this together, the reciprocity, right? So, and it also felt really good to be in a space where, we all have some demons that we work through. We all have some, flaws, I guess, like personality, character quirks, I want to say. But they just let me be me. It was in a judgment-free space. Um, we all have our day-to-day lives, but we came here to not be in the space of like under a microscope, but where we could really be free. and, just be who we are in the moment and just celebrate, live, celebrate fitness, celebrate music, just all of the great things about what we weren't getting from our jobs, what we weren't, for some of us, me personally, what I wasn't getting from home. So, it's like you can have all of this self-love, but when you are in a space of empowerment, it helps you to feel love for yourself, right? Because people, they see something in you that maybe you didn't see in yourself. Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. Um, so anyways, remarkable experience. I continued with Zumba, teaching it for years. My mentor at the time had come across another format, and with that other format, I was like, okay, let me check it out. I trust you. You've guided me for this long. Where are you taking me next? So we went to an event, and the format was presented, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly where I need to be. It's my kind of music. It's my style of dance. I just absolutely love it. And I went to a training per my mentor's request. And in that training, the founder of that format asked me to be one of their lead trainers. You don't even know me, but they watched us through the entire day and watched how we interacted with other participants, other students. And there was something that was present for them at the time that they felt that they wanted on their team. And I celebrated that. I'm like, another moment of, you don't really know what you're capable of until somebody sees it in you, right? Because you're just doing you, you're just being yourself. And that felt really good. All of my life, I wanted to be in a space where I knew I was going to be like an educator of some kind. In elementary school, I was in Key Club, which is kind of like a peer helper type group. And not because that's what I wanted to do, but that's because the teachers were like, this is where we want you to be. This is where you fit. I worked with, they're like special needs kids in elementary school, and that was per request of a teacher. It's not positions I chose, but positions that people were like, this is where I see you, and I know that you're going to be a great fit. So again, okay, I'm up for it. If you see that in me, I am going to do everything I can to make you proud, right? Because if you believe in me, I'm not going to let you down. Whew. Whew. It's so crazy
Okay. No.
to talk it out,
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that, being a trainer for the other organization, it was just amazing, just absolutely amazing. I love watching light bulbs go off. I love watching individuals who had no idea that they could take something structured and actually, implement it. When people realize like, that is how my body should be moving. Wow. I wish somebody would have taken the time to break that down for me. And, to be able to do that with individuals who truly care about wanting to care for other people is just magnificent. Like, I mean, there's like no other word for it. Now, transparency, I did feel after some time that I fit the culture of that organization. Like, my direction was kind of like leading me somewhere else. I am so loyal. I want to stick things out because I am somebody who, if I say I'm going to do it, I want to make sure that I follow through. So it took a little while, but I came to the realization, I'm not I'm a very spiritual person. So when something gets laid on me or like a seed is planted, I'm obedient. There's like a little bit of a struggle because I don't want to be like, is it just, made up scenarios or, those kinds of things. But at some point they start to scream at you, like yell at you, and flags and signs or whatever it is that you see continually popping up. It's just like, I hear you now. I recognize it. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Lord. I see the direction that you want me to go. And so I had to, resign from my position. And it was difficult because I had a group of individuals who supported me. It's the core team of Commit. They were individuals who started off as my students, and then followed me into wanting to become instructors themselves. We started teaching at a location together, which is where Commit to You was born. I'm like, okay, so we don't have anywhere for them to teach. I just trained them. They're ready. What do I do? My sister and I found a location in Tacoma, Cultura Event Center. The whole team joined me. And so we had classes Monday through Friday at Cultura. Commit to You is what it was. And we were teaching the other format. And when I decided to leave, I did let them know, like, okay, you guys, I'm not going to stick with this format itself. Go ahead and continue teaching. This is what you love. You love the format. Like, please understand that I'm in a different position because of how closely I worked with the organization, so there's like that. So, they didn't get to see everything that I got to see behind the scenes. And, and everyone just tries to do the best that they can. So, nothing to shed light, in a negative way on the organization, but, just some things don't, they have their direction, I had mine. So with that being said, the team, they're so freaking amazing. They're like, no, we're going to do what you're doing. And I was like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to teach dance fitness. So we didn't have a name on it. We created our own choreography anyway. Me and the team, we collaborated a lot. And so we just taught Commit to You at Cultura, and just had it be a generic dance fitness, name. One day I got hit up by other instructors that I had trained, who are like, what are you doing? Where are you at? I want to do what you're doing. And it's like, well, I'm not doing anything right now. It's, I guess, like cardio dance fitness, because, I don't really have a name for it. And then it's like, well, what's Commit to You? I want to do Commit to You. And trying to explain that Commit to You was like where we were, like if it was LA Fitness or if it was the YMCA, Commit to You was the name on what we were doing in the build, or not, it was the name of the building, or the business itself. So then it's like, gosh, being a people pleaser, I'm like, people want what we're doing. What is it that we're doing? How do we have this be something that is duplicatable, and have it not lose its quality, but still maintain who we are as individuals, because they see who we are and what we're doing, and they want that community feeling. They want that team of women, and men coming together to provide a service in the community. And so I got with my sister, who was also with the other organization, and my other business partner, Jessica Quandy, because I asked my team, like, hey, you guys want to start a business? And they looked at me like I was crazy. They were like, no, girl, but we got you. We'll support you. We'll be with you every step of the way. And, with a lot of convincing to my sister and to Jessica Quandy, they're like, let's do it. Let's make this happen. And, without the two of them, I don't know if there would have been like the actual business itself. We would still be doing Commit to You from whatever building we're in. They really have helped kind of like figure out how to do business. I do people and they do the business stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes behind, running a company, and without my sister's phenomenal mind, like I really don't know if we would be where we are. So the core team, Quandi, myself, creating choreography, developing a curriculum to teach instructors how to teach what we were teaching, and actually put some structure behind it. So that way AFA, NASM, and then hopefully, we're pushing forward into other fitness organizations to have their accreditations for, there's so many out there. We want to make sure that all of them, have commit under their umbrella. So that way group fitness instructors, have more opportunities for continued education. So, of course, that's later on. It's been a phenomenal ride. I do have to say, there's a lot that goes into it, but the community is what keeps us going. That reciprocity, the accountability, the level of responsibility, to make sure that what we do is not only, so I'm like a quality over quantity type individual too. So the fact that we are growing at a steady pace, but not like, viral. Like all of a sudden 1 million hits, I'm appreciative of that. I'm very appreciative of that. And I feel like I'm kind of like lost my train of thought. So we're here now, 4 years in of being an official company. We started in 2014 with Commit to You and my core team without a name, like of what we were doing. And then in 2017, my sister and Jessica Quandi and I officially established Commit to You Fitness, or CTY Fitness.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so then we move forward with the structure of the curriculum and licensing instructors. Our first instructor training was in 2018, January of 2018. So yeah, it's been a phenomenal experience. Our first training, we had over 60 people, which was mind-blowing, to have that many individuals want to get licensed right out of the gate. So yeah, and then our second training had 80 plus instructors. That was in Las Vegas. So yeah, it's just been one great experience after another.
Wow. So it's just so much because
I know
no, I mean, because, the emotional part, one thing I want to kind of touch back on is just, when you talk about like that aspect of giving and like the reciprocity that's going on in the community. And I don't know if you remember hearing a quote, it goes something like this about like, if you want to, like basically if you're a selfish person, then you're going to give more, and because you get so much in return, and that is one thing that I find that's so unique about the communities that the commit communities that I've attended, because I've gone to 3 different sites. And you're right, I've heard the instructor at the end say, you know what, y'all, this was really a tough day for me. And I really did not have what it takes to get here, but I came for y'all, and then they'll turn right around and say, and you all meant so much to me today, so it's just amazing how that, you don't realize that what you're doing is really like an emotional thing. Like it's a part of the emotional side of us that we need to tap into more, because it really is like 9 to 5 or 12-hour shifts. You're just hard at work, and then before you know it, the week's gone and you haven't tapped into yourself.
Mhm.
And that's what I find that your community is doing, is you are making people like myself just tap into ourselves. And then just to speak on how there was a moment I had a couple of weeks ago. I was in a class, and I'm by far not even close to where I want to be. I want to check my progress a year from now to see how I'm doing and commit, because I'm just enjoying, like you're saying, the intentional movement and the body movement. But there was a lady in our class that, I'd been to class, we'd been to the same class a couple of times, and um, on a certain part of a routine, she would always have to sit down. And me being a nurse, I'd always go check on her and say, "How are you doing?" She's like, "I'm fine. It's just my hip." So a couple of weeks ago, it was so great because she was like, "I made it through the entire routine," and
I love it.
that is what it is about. Because, when you going back to class, for me, it's just like, oh, I don't even know where we are, with that movement. I definitely don't know how to move my hips like that. But then you find that you are moving a little bit better the next time. So
Mhm.
I cannot tell you how much, maybe, like, I think maybe it's the combination of music and community and movement. And it's like I've gone to a party, in the middle of the week or middle of the night, or it's weekend. So it's just, I just love what you're doing, Donna. I really do. And I know that the instructors feel the same way. And one of the things I wanted to just talk about was, I just wanted to ask, how many states are you located in?
I want to say that we are in 23 states officially, as far as instructors who have taken the training. As far as active instructors teaching in those 23 states, at this moment, I do not know, especially with each state having its own regulations with, the pandemic order. Uh, so 23 states where we have licensed individuals, and then one, we're in Japan as well. So we have instructors teaching in Japan, in
Wow.
Okinawa. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty dope to think that we were able to make it across the ocean.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I can
Mhm.
see how. I can see. One of the things, like, if you haven't, if you don't attend the community, one thing I would say to people is just to look at the videos online, because they are so encouraging, and they just bring back just a basic thing that we all forget. Like, sometimes you just need to play. And that's what you feel like,
Mhm.
you're on the playground, and you're all playing in the same sandbox, doing very different things, but you're playing. So I can't speak enough about the community. I do want to know, with the weight loss, that's a big thing. That's a huge thing. So what would because for me, it was the food came first, and then the movement came second. Like, I didn't have the brain to want to go move, you know. So but what I do recognize now is, like, both are necessary. You got to
Mhm.
move and you got to eat well. So
It
what
goes
kind of
hand in hand.
Yes. What tips do you have, just for someone who is maybe at home and not motivated at all? I'd like to tell that in some of the communities that I've joined, I've really just been so, it's just so good to see women in my community that I know traditionally I would have seen on the church pew move, you know. So
Mhm.
they're moving their bodies. And so I guess my thing is, like, what kind of tips would you have for them to say, try it, you know?
You know, the food element or the movement element, which it all every individual is different as far as like what initiates their desire to become healthier, right? Or in their mind what healthier is. And it's really difficult because there's so many different fitness professionals and dietitians and nutritionists who are spitting information at you. And the one thing that I would say is every individual is different. So depending on what direction you want to go, be really focused on how you feel. So movement, how do you feel while you're moving? You know, does that walk actually help you feel more clear of mind? You know, do you feel, you know, like rejuvenated? If you are going to get on the treadmill, you know, do you feel invigorated, you know, afterwards? Do you feel like I could probably go another mile? Um, with food, how do you feel after you eat that hamburger? You know, does it make you want to take a nap? Or are you alive and ready to take on the day? You know, are you ready to push through? And, you know, are you having to fight fatigue? Because the foods that you eat should help you to feel more alive, feel more energy, feel more ready to go. So that was something for me that I had to be really mindful of. So the movement part was initiated because I needed to keep up with my son, because before that I was just like you, I wasn't going to move. I was just going to keep doing what I was doing. And which basically the movement was just getting up from the couch. Well, getting up from my bed, sitting on the couch, watching television, whatever it is my kids wanted to watch, sitting on the floor playing games with them. You know, there wasn't a lot of like physical activity until my son was like, "You're going to move, mom." Because I'm here to make you. So, yeah, I would just start with how do you feel? Like being thoughtful in it, write it down. After you take your walk, take note of what you feel, like actually sit in it for like 10 minutes. After that meal, wait 20 minutes, sit in it. How do you feel? You know, do you want to take a nap, or are you ready to take on the day? Um, and then you'll start to notice like wanting to cut things out because you're aware now after you started journaling and being aware of how you feel. Oh, that didn't make me feel good, so I'm probably not going to eat that again. Come to find out, like for myself, I have a lot more, I don't want to say food allergies because I never got tested, but I'm definitely noticing like what works for me and what doesn't. So I swell up, I bloat, I look like after I eat, you know, macaroni and cheese, which is like one of my favorites, I look like a 60-year-old alcoholic. Like my nose is swollen, my face is swollen, you know, like I had been drinking for 20 plus years. And that's the other thing, like I had to cut out alcohol, you know, because of how my body felt. So there's a lot of things that I've had to like remove from my day-to-day life, you know, that actually helped to promote my self-care. So also too, pay attention to, or like, what's the thing? So I remember my sister, this was also like an aha moment for me. My sister decided when she got pregnant, my baby sister, to do like her own baby food. So she would, which I didn't, I did Gerber. I bought it for my kids. It's totally fine. She would take like, you know, the peas, the carrots and steam them. And then she had the baby NutriBullet and did that. Fed her daughter. Oh my gosh, just it was so amazing. And then one day we're sitting down and my sister had decided that she was going to start doing like a Gerber meal. Oh my gosh, my niece freaked out. Like after she was done eating that meal, it was like the devil. Like, who are you? Like the emotional response to that food. You know, it wasn't just her, you know, because I had seen her like all this time just being a chill kid. And then with the homemade food, she was fine. But as soon as she had that processed food, night and day. Like, who are you right now? Because of the amount of sugars that were put in there, the chemically processed ingredients that they put in there, it just changes everything, you know. I know for myself personally, mac and cheese will make me an emotional wreck. So I just can't eat it. Like, I'm moody. You know, my wife is like, go take a nap. Her favorite thing to say is, go to sleep, Donna. Okay.
Hey,
But
it's rest.
yeah. She's like, are you cranky? I'm like, I'm not 5. Okay, I don't need a nap. But yeah, after certain foods, you do.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, it is a mess. So I think, I do want to just tell you thank you, because I guess because I'm so new to the community, but it doesn't feel new. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the women I know here, Texas is representing. So in Texas, like
Yes.
they are amazing women. But I knew for sure that that has to come from the top. And that's what I see, was that your vision is being played out and your style of leadership and having fun and building community that came from the top. So it's great to see that, you are exactly what I thought you would be. And I guess the other thing too is, you know, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate the fact that you are caring for a community and you're doing the work that probably would be overlooked, because the one thing I struggled with was, when we talk about gym memberships, then we talk about cost constraints for a lot of people, time constraints for most people, because you have to be in class at a certain time. But when I see commit, what I see are opportunities for there's a free class, there's one class that may be $7, one class may be $5. But either way, they are inexpensive ways to move my body, feel connected to a community that looks just like me, and then also just feel empowered. So I'm just so appreciative of what you do. And I'm so grateful that you've given us time today, and I guess the last thing is just let's end with you. What do you want to say?
Thank you. Just, um, I really can't own any of it. It's everybody else who's done it. Um, it was the students and the instructors who planted the seeds. So it's just, I guess, believing in what's being told to me and being obedient to the messages, being obedient to, you know, again, from a spiritual sense, where I'm supposed to go and what I'm supposed to be doing, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without my sister, without Quandi, without the core team, without our creative team, without you attending class, like you are the most valuable asset to what is allowing commit to do what it does. So without you wanting to be in that space of other men and women who are looking for empowerment and being in a respectful environment and still having a good time, being free to be who we are, you know, and understanding each other in a compassionate and graceful way, you know, um, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So I cannot take ownership of it. I will celebrate it though every single day. Because yeah, it wasn't me. It was just me being obedient to what was being told to me. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm
My
sorry.
girl. Oh my
I
God.
don't, I just want to make sure that I'm being as, I want to make sure that the message, my intention is just to know that the community is what does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, without the community, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you. And I love you, and just keep it up.
Thank you.
I sent Tylo a video the other day, and I'm like, okay, this is how I'm gonna look 30 years from now. And it was this lady probably in her 80s dancing. So, just thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
No, thank you for your time. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Okay, love you, sister.
Bye, Sean. I'll see you again soon, hopefully.
Okay.
Bye.